Hello, I'm Tim Harris. This is Julie Harris, and this is Real Estate Coaching Radio.
That's right. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any future episodes. Thanks again for popping by. Hit that like button, and don't forget to leave your comments and questions so we can get right back with you.
We will. Thank you for continuing to make our podcast, Real Estate Coaching Radio, the #1 listened to podcast for real estate professionals in at least the United States. And let us know what you think about this video. Leave your comments below. Thank you.
3, 2, 1, and we're back. And today we are focused on something as a result of several of you asking for us to present this material. So yes, we do listen.
Yes, backed by special request, the Real Estate Agent's Guaranteed Success Schedule. So get ready to take notes, but as always, we're including the notes for you just so that you don't miss anything.
Now, if you have any show suggestions, the easiest way for you to pass those along to us, obviously, is, well, one of two ways. You can text me at 512-758-0206, or just message us over on Instagram, and that's at Tim and Julie Harris. We always read your messages and appreciate show feedback, and love the opportunity to really cater content directly toward your needs, wants, and desires. And we've gotten some of our best show ideas this year from listener feedback and listener suggestions. We have, absolutely. All right, so Julie, let's just dive right in.
All right, so most of us got into real estate so we could have a sense of freedom. We dropped the boss, lost the schedule, and gained freedom, but along with that comes the necessity of self-discipline. Well, that's the hard part. Do you ever feel like you are wandering around in the wilds of real estate, not knowing what to do next? Which activities are most productive and which are just busy work, or what you might call work theater, Tim? I like that phrase you coined. Meanwhile, you're trying to figure out what to do in today's real estate. You have to keep your deals together, navigate inspections, appraisals, contingencies, and financing hiccups. It's easy to lose control of your time, and along with that, control of your goals. So Zig Ziglar said, lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24-hour days.
Now, I want to share something with you guys. I know there are a lot of people that will like to take a great deal of pride in essentially bragging about the fact that they don't need a schedule. They somehow miraculously get just everything done, and look how successful I am. That type of people, that type of person. I know there's several YouTube, air quoting here, coaches that are, that's what their message is. Don't have a schedule, sort of just ebb and flow however you choose to. But the thing that they won't acknowledge is they do have schedules. They just aren't formalized schedules.
True.
They are, generally speaking, and everyone follows the same pattern, just part of being human. You're doing the same things every single day at pretty much the exact same time you did them yesterday. And we are all just creatures of habit like that. But also physiologically, biologically, we are forced to follow a schedule. You eat when you're hungry, you go to the bathroom when you have to go to the bathroom, and you got to drop the kid at school, pick the kid back up, you got to do all these things. So you are living a scheduled life, even if you don't have a formalized work schedule. There's an ego element to people that brag about not having schedules. And again, I want to say this just in a more simplistic ways. They do have schedules. They just haven't formalized their schedules. So don't get stuck on it being some sort of badge of honor to say you don't have a schedule. You do have a schedule.
You do, whether you realize it or not. Unless you let your dog poop in the house. I mean, they take them on a walk when they need to go on a walk. That's a schedule too.
Yep.
Okay, so you can't make any more time. People say that all the time. I got to make time for this and make time for that. Well, you can't actually make more time, but you can become more efficient and effective, especially on work days. So here's your step-by-step guide to do just that. Again, all of the detailed notes are when you scan down.
But let me just add this too, because I think this will help. I'm trying to, give you guys as much wisdom on this podcast to sort of liberate you from some of the thinking that maybe has been haunting you with regards to scheduling. There is no such thing as time management.
Nope.
That doesn't exist. So stop saying time management. I have a time management problem. No, you have a you management problem. So you're not, the time is going to do what time's going to do. You cannot manage time. That just is what it is, right? But you can manage what you do in the time that you're allocated every single day. So you need to say, I personally have a, personal management problem. I am not managing my schedule. You need to internalize it, opposed to putting it out as something that is too obtuse. Time management. Who the hell can solve that riddle? Nobody can. If Einstein couldn't do it, we can't do it.
It's not time's fault.
Right, exactly. It is a you management problem. So
well put. I appreciate that clarification.
Yep.
So number one, decide today what you'll actually use for your scheduling. Are you old school and use a paper planner, or do you track everything using Google Calendar? There are so many apps to choose from, both analog and digital. Choose what you will actually use. It can't be overly complicated, require a tutorial, or be a pain to navigate, because you won't do it. Choose today and commit to it, then stick to it. And some people have, I've been looking at these for us with, the new school schedule. Sometimes you have your business schedule on one and then you have a school schedule somewhere else. Our Alexa over at the cabin will actually be your scheduling assistant. So there's really no excuse except you have to actually make that decision. What will you actually use? All right, point number 2, take your schedule and put little dollar signs on every day that is a work day and a smiley face on your days off, holidays, travel days, etc.
Replace the word schedule with point number 2 with calendar, right? That's
Calendar,
what you meant to say, right? So take your calendar and on the days that you're going to be working, and you can work this 12 months in advance too. So work it 12 months in advance, and the days you know you're going to be working, you're committing to working, a dollar sign on those days, and days you already know you're going to be taking off, then, frankly, put up a green smiley face probably.
Exactly. Now, this is to show you that though each month has 30 or 31 days, at best, most people have 20 work days. It's a little self-reminder to make the most of those 24 hours. We talked about you can't make more time. In both cases, work and play. So strive to actually work on your actual work days and play on your play days. Much of your daily stress in real estate happens when you are supposedly taking a day off, but you're checking your phone every 5 minutes and negotiating something. Similarly, stress occurs when you're working, but missing your kid's recital or ball game. An early mentor of ours said of this to use this technique: learn to flip the switch, change the channel. You're either, and people our age and older will remember when you actually had to turn the channel on the TV, and if you were in between channels, you had all the fuzz and you didn't really were watching anything. That's where the stress lives, when you're not really on a channel, if you will. I always liked that analogy.
But here's the blessing of all this, and this is, again, to reinforce Julie's points, is that you really don't have to have a fully scheduled day. I mean, your day is going to be fully scheduled with life activities regardless, as we just were talking about a second ago. But you're only really needing, at the end of the day, to really fit in with your 3 to 5 core activities every single day. And we're going to talk about that.
There.
But really, the essence of those core, is that an actual drill down point? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't want to step on Julie's.
It's all good.
Point number 3.
Point number 3, and we do this with coaching clients all the time. Here is the question du jour. You need to actually know if you are on track, ahead, or behind every day by using and updating your visual accountability whiteboards. You get that in Premier Coaching, but you need to be tracking all of the following based on your goals. And right there, how do you know what your goals are? You've done the real estate treasure map. So we help you with all that. Again, this is training, not coaching. Coaching has the real estate treasure map. It has the whiteboard visual accountability system. But what should you be tracking to know whether you're on track, ahead, or behind? Leads, active listings, buyers, pendings, and closed transactions. We coach this in great detail in Premier. It's one of the first things you get when you sign up for free. It is actually in the first level of coaching for a reason.
And by the way, yes, you can scroll down and get the notes as you can for every day's podcast. The notes are waiting for you in the show description below. So iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, does not matter. Just scroll down and the notes are waiting for you, as well as the link to join Premier Coaching for free. Do not delay on joining Premier Coaching for free. It is the clear path forward for all of you because of this market. You love our podcast, and we certainly appreciate you guys keeping this the number one listened to daily podcast for real estate professionals. You will not believe what you get when you are actually attending your daily semi-private coaching call with one of our Harris certified coaches. It takes everything to the next level. For those of you who are indeed ready to go to the next level, scroll down, click the link, join Premier Coaching. And if you just want to check the website out and maybe you're driving and listening or running or whatever you're doing, just go to premiercoaching.com. Either way, do join our Premier Coaching community, and we've made it simple for you. It takes about 17 seconds to join, and your first month is free.
All right, so point number 4 is a result of point number 3, where we were talking about what to track. That was your leads, your listings, your buyers, your pendings, and your closed transactions. So point number 4, each of your whiteboards that I just rattled off has an actual dollar value to you. You should write it in the corner of the board. For example, perhaps you have $5 million worth of active listings, which are worth approximately X to you based on your commissions. Maybe you've already got X amount of pendings on the board. This way, you'll know if you're on track, ahead, or behind. We do this, the coaches do this all the time, and it's almost always the case where an agent will kind of feel like, especially now when the market's shifting a little bit, I feel a little bit like I'm behind because maybe my listings are taking a little bit longer to sell, or maybe I've got some delayed closings. Well, all you have to do is look at the dollar value of what you've already closed, what you've got pending, and what the value of your listings are. And you can calculate, are you actually on track, ahead, or behind?
And so when you join Premier Coaching, the first thing we prescribe all of you to do is complete your real estate treasure map, which is your fill-in-the-blank business plan. And one of the things you're going to be doing, just to build on what Julie just said, is you're going to obviously know what your monthly personal overhead is. Then you're going to break it down to weekly, and you're going to break it down to daily. And then why do we want you to know that? Because every day you don't earn money, and yes, this will create stress, but it'll also create accountability. Every day you don't earn money, you're spending money. Every week, every month. So you do have a daily cost. Your financial obligations. Most of you are able to pay your bills on less than $10,000 a month. That's $2,500 a week, right? $2,500 divided by 7. You guys can keep on drilling down on the math. So every day you don't earn, you're spending money. That's a good way of reminding yourself, I need to earn X number of dollars today. And maybe I'll have a big closing coming up. Maybe I'm taking 5 listings. You guys get it? This is how you create internal accountability yourself, so you cannot hide from your numbers.
That's right. So Benjamin Franklin said, you may delay, but time will not. So take your schedule seriously. Each day, you are either self-employed or self-unemployed, depending on what you're doing with your allotted time. So point number 5, and you were just alluding to this, actually review your finances every day. Use mint.com as your dashboard of key performance indicators. Your savings, your checking account, your credit cards, investment accounts, investment properties, and everything else financial are visible using mint.com. This includes your credit scores as well as your upcoming bills and your actual budget. It is a fantastic tool and super easy to use, and I think it's either cheap or free.
It is free.
Yeah.
So you can set up mint.com. You can plug in all of your accounts and basically, like Julie just said, KPIs, key performance indicators. You can pop on Mint and you can see exactly what's going on with all your math. And it really is a fantastic tool. Point number 6.
Point number 6, make contact. What's a contact? A conversation with a decision-making adult about real estate with at least the number of people as transactions you want to do this year. That's a place to start. For example, if you must close 20 transactions to meet or exceed your goals, you must make 20 actual contacts daily. Remember, back to your work days to meet that goal. Adjust as your skills increase and focus on the people who are most likely to sell. So here's an example. Speak with your existing leads that you just need to close on to set appointments. Expired listing opportunities for sale by owners, probate, relo, past clients, and referrals as an example of people you can be speaking with. Now, note to self, because I know where you guys are headed with this. Just listed and just sold calls or circle prospecting or cold calling don't count unless they are directly around your own listings or sales because you have no proof that they are interested in selling. Those calls are easy, but they're not productive. That's when they want to go, oh, well, I know how to make 20 contacts a day.
By the way, Julie's getting into the meat of what are the 3 to 5 things you guys should be doing every day.
Schedule.
Point number for your schedule, right? So point number 6, obviously, and these are the things you actually time block for. Point number 6 was you're going to make the desired number of contacts. Every day when you're making contacts, do start out with your centers of influence and past clients.
Yes.
Because they're the easiest calls to make.
Yes. Now, 20 contacts might seem like a lot using our example.
But let me edit this. So it's 20. So they're supposed to be making.
If you have to do 20 deals, you do 20.
Right,
contacts.
but it's not. This is actually because it's number of listings they want to have at all times.
Okay.
So it's number of listings they want to have at all times. So if the real estate treasure map says they need to have 10 listings at all times or 5 listings at all times, they should be making 5 or 10 contacts.
At least. Yes.
That's right. Okay.
That's right. So that may seem like a lot until you realize you can easily speak with at least 5 people from your sphere, your database, past clients, neighbors, also in your database. And then from there, you have your lead follow-up and your other sources of most likely to list. And of course, we have an epic amount of podcasts about that.
And also remember, when you're making these contacts, do follow the conversation outline, aka scripts that we give you guys. So this is a good point, a good place to mention this. Your mission as a real estate professional, especially with lead generation, is not to have a crap ton of leads. I know you think, because everyone's trying to sell you leads constantly, more leads solves all your problems. That's absolutely not true. The most successful salespeople on planet Earth, no matter what they're selling, their goal is to have as few leads as possible. I'm not saying 0 leads, but they want, like in real estate, if you have like more than really 10 or maybe 15 leads, depending on what your goals are, you're not doing a very good job.
Quality leads.
You're not doing a very good job pre-qualifying. In other words, you're not actually asking questions. You're not looking for motivation. You're not figuring out their time frame. You're just essentially putting names in a database and hoping that over time dripping on them is going to result in a transaction. Your job is to call people, fully pre-qualify them, look for the ones that are going to transact with you in 90 days or less. That is your focus. Gathering leads has basically you need to assume it has zero value.
That's right. I think some of this is because of how they define what a lead is. So if you're just talking to somebody at the gym and you throw them in your database, that's not a lead unless you had a conversation about helping them buy or sell a property.
Julie, the real reason that agents think like that is because the people selling the technology, the CRMs and lead follow-up campaigns have never actually sold real estate before for the most part and do not want to actually tell the agents what I just said. Because if I'm trying to sell you a CRM and I'm trying to sell you into the vision, the dream that you're supposed to have 1 billion people in your CRM they're dripping on constantly, I want you to actually then buy my software and start paying me monthly. Versus if I'm actually, if I'd sold real estate before or maybe listen to this podcast, I know at the end of the day, my job is to, yes, have lots of leads, but then to qualify those leads, asking the tough questions, figuring out which ones are, going to transact quickly. Now, look, you can stretch the envelope a little bit. Maybe it's 6 months or less, but you guys get still the point. Well, then that invalidates the whole idea of long-term drip campaigns, doesn't it? It invalidates the idea of paying $400 a month for a CRM, doesn't it? But it also makes it so you guys are protected. And again, we get solicited probably 3 to 5 times a day from technology companies that are trying to sell you guys stuff, and almost all of it has to do with lead generation, and we won't do it because their products are essentially the antithesis of what we know actually works long-term in real estate to make it so that you always have cash flow.
That's right. So we're talking about what to do on your work days. Point number 7, follow furiously fast lead follow-up on 100% of your leads 100% of the time with no exceptions or excuses. This is a non-negotiable thing with Premier Coaching, is that you will follow furiously fast lead follow-up.
9 times out of 10, if we're talking to somebody and they're having struggles in their business and we just ask them 3 or 4 questions, we can figure out that I would say 9 times out of 10 is because they're terrible at lead follow-up. They've
It's easy to fix, though.
I'm too busy, or I have my assistant do it, or I put him in the drip campaign.
I got even one better. I cannot believe an agent told me this. I can't remember where they heard it. It was some kind of training thing that they went to where the, quote, trainer speaker said, you should never call your leads back before at least 3 days from when they reached out to you because you don't want to seem too hungry.
Dude, it's worse than this. It's all these fake, and mostly on YouTube, all these fake guru coaches. And of course, we've heard this one before. If someone texts you, only text them. If they email you, only email them. If they message you on Facebook, only message them on Facebook.
Those are not rules, people. No.
Yes. I mean, the fact that you guys are willing to listen to that stuff, doesn't common sense tell you that the smart move is to get on the damn phone and have a conversation with them? Right.
There is nothing worse than a real estate professional with a voicemail that's full or takes days to return calls. So much business is missed with this bad habit. So commit to being furiously fast with your lead follow-up starting today. And the good news is, because we're talking about scheduling here or following your calendar, is that when you are furiously fast with all of your leads, no matter how they came to you, whatever type of lead it is, you'll never be behind on your lead follow-up. You'll only have to be on the spot when you can, answer the phone, and maybe spend 30 minutes tops when you do this daily instead of letting it pile up on you, or worse yet, letting your voicemail get full. That's just crazy talk. All right. Point number 8, the goal of both your daily contacts and follow-up is to set at least one new pre-qualified appointment before noon, ideally with a potential seller. If you haven't achieved that following your morning routine and you have no appointments for the afternoon, it's time to either stay on the phone or door knock on unrepresented sellers, for example, expired listings that don't have phone numbers, you'll have virtually no competition, or any of the other opportunities that cost you zero money.
Now, let's be clear. We are not advocates of cold calling.
No.
Cold calling is dumb. Cold calling people just to call somebody is a waste of time. So if you, for example, do have a database of leads you've been matriculating and centers of influence and past clients, or let alone obviously the more motivated types of sellers that we teach you in Premier Coaching, those are the people you should be calling. So do not, if people try to pigeonhole, Julie and Tim are just telling people to cold call.
Nope.
No, we're not. We never have. We never will. We want you to do the actual work of the real work of real estate, which is going to result in you getting, paid. That is really what our motivation is. We want you guys to be successful.
Yes.
So intuitively, you should know by now, especially longtime listeners, if anything that you're planning on doing requires more than like 3 steps, It is going to fail. It has what would our friend Elon Musk say?
Multiple threat vectors.
Threat vectors, right. So if something has more than maybe 3 steps, it's too complicated.
Yeah.
You won't do it, and there's too many points of breakage. So just keep it simple, guys. And remember, if you want more, at the end of the day, this is always a contact sport. The more people you're contacting, having conversations with, the more frequently you're going to win. If your whole philosophy of business is to avoid having conversations with people and set up all these little bots and AIs and human people and wherever to do all the contacting for you, you're going to spend all of your money, all of your time, and you're most likely not going to be in business in 12 months. If you're tuning in to people that are telling you to do things that are not resulting in you having direct contact with potential buyers or sellers, tune out, and then obviously that's not going to work either, because you know that those are going to be systems that are not necessarily going to be, they're going to be prone to lots of breakage. There's going to be too many opportunities for your emails to not get through. Your texts aren't going to get through. People aren't going to watch your video. They maybe aren't going to take action on what you ask them to do, which is completely the opposite of what you need in a market like this. Direct conversations.
That's right. Quick example from one of my newer elite coaching clients, okay? So Dan in the Midwest, he is cleaning up his database and making his contacts. He makes, on average, 40 real contacts per day, okay? Now, we're kind of mixing a little bit of voicemail and real contacts, but his averages go somewhat like this. 40 contacts, about 20 of those were, detailed voicemail. About another 20 to 22 were real conversations. Again, this is daily. I just had a call with him a couple of days ago. Of those 20-something real conversations, he has not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 listing opportunities. That's what we would call real leads, okay? 2 of them were a little bit further out, and 2 of them were nearly immediately. That was from 1 day of targeted prospecting of his database, okay? Because he's having real conversations using a conversation outline, and he is focused, and that is 40 contacts. So that shows not only that you can make valuable contact, but what kind of results you can expect when you have a well-planned out call.
Every single person listening right now could create an avalanche of opportunity in business if they just followed the simple things that we have just explained to all of you guys and we do every day on the podcast. There is no shortage of opportunity because there is a massive shortage of agents that are willing to do the real work of real estate. As long as agents are always looking for shortcuts and easy buttons, there's always going to be opportunity in the people that are truly willing to drill down and do the real work.
Absolutely. Point number 9, again, we're talking about what you should be doing during your day. We're not talking about do this between 8 a.m. and 8:10 a.m. We're giving you the elements which have to go into your productive schedule. Number 9, speak with all pending clients with transaction updates. Don't be out of sight, out of mind. This should take you no more than an hour daily, assuming that you do it virtually every day. If you use a transaction coordinator, speak with them daily and your pending clients weekly.
It is worth mentioning, most of you, Julie and I operate this way too, we always have, are going to get more done more efficiently in the morning because a whole bunch of physiological reasons are, they're all aligning, behind you being more efficient in the morning. But your hormones are going to be better. You're going to have just had a lot of sleep. Your brain's going to be quicker. Everything is going to be more conducive to you getting higher level results quicker. And frankly, if you don't do it in the morning, most of the things you have to do, if you don't do them in the morning, you probably aren't going to do them the rest of the day. Getting them done in the morning means that it's done. And if your, day goes to, hell in a handbasket afternoon.
At least you got that done in the morning.
At least you got the most important things done. See, that's the whole point. The morning schedule is the most sacred part of the day because the rest of the day you get tired, you get ornery, you get sleepy around 2 o'clock.
Stuff happens.
You got to, if you have children, well, they come home from school, that's like a hurricane, right? So the whole the reality of it is that morning schedule is when you need to be really focused in. And Premier Coaching in the Real Estate Treasure Map, there are sample schedules that you guys can access where it's,
detailed.
It's more detailed, right? But really the essence of it is the 3 to 5 things that you need to be doing every single day is proactive lead generation. You need to be doing, obviously, pre-qualifying. When you lead generate, you should be pre-qualifying. You should definitely be doing your, furiously fast lead follow-up. We want you to also do some level of exercise every day, even if it's just a 15-minute. Right. So do all those things every single morning. Show gratitude towards the people you love and write all these things down. and schedule them. And then when you get those 3 to 5 things done every single day, you're going to feel fantastic. And then over time, and often not as much time as you think, you're going to start building momentum. You're going to start, all those things that you're working on, all those things you're focusing on, they're going to get better incrementally. And over the days, the weeks, the months, the years, you're going to all of a sudden start to become a different person. That's the way to do it. There are no shortcuts.
So Henry David Thoreau, one of my favorite authors, said it best. He said, "It's not enough to be busy. The question is, what are we busy about?" So that's what this podcast has been. It's time to get control of your time and along with it, your goals. If your schedule doesn't reflect your goals, you're unlikely to succeed.
You know what? We talked about this yesterday, but if you're finding the idea of having a morning schedule like daunting, it's because you're allowing too much in your head in the morning. Go lean into the whole idea of having a media-free life. Do not listen to, pay attention to, turn on, give any attention whatsoever to any form of media, because you're just going to go down emotional rabbit holes that are going to derail your potential for even staying on schedule, let alone getting the results of having stayed on your schedule.
Well, that's true. And I have to just add one more thing just straight off of coaching calls. And I think I originally came across this in Atomic Habits, where he was saying part of why people get so exhausted and so far off of their schedule, even, assuming that you have a schedule like what we laid out for you today, is that you are constantly, if you're not sticking to it and doing what you say you're going to do, you're constantly making decision after decision after decision after decision, subconsciously and consciously. Am I going to prospect today? Yes or no? Am I going to do lead follow-up? Yes or no? Am I going to take care of that inspection? Well, maybe I'll do it later. If I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? Just in like 5 minutes, you're making 10 little micro decisions, and that takes up so much space in your brain. Instead, decide on your 3 to 5 basic profitable matrices that you absolutely will do. For example, you never end a day with leads that you haven't followed up on. That's pretty simple to fix,
that should be a
right?
rule.
You never end a day where you didn't work out and exercise so you can keep your energy up. That's a simple rule. And not only to have that rule, but when you will do it, don't have different times of, maybe on Tuesday I wake up at 6 a.m., but on Friday I'm going to sleep in. All those decisions are exhausting.
If you guys want to do the marketing, the branding, the pies in November, and the, postcards and all the rest of it, do that in addition to the real core work.
Not instead of.
But the things that we ask you guys to do, have you noticed a recurring theme? They don't cost any money.
But they do make you money.
They do make you money, and that'll increase your profit margins. We want you to do the things that are the most profitable because A, they're the most profitable, but B, they get the best results the fastest.
Yeah. That's basically it. We don't need to overcomplicate it from there. So,
Nope.
Homework is to create your ideal daily schedule. If you are already a Premier Coaching member, you have lots of examples of how to follow that.
You did great. We did talk about point 10, but for the analyticals out there that are keeping
Okay, point number 10, spend
Yes.
at least 1 hour working out, going on a walk, or taking a class at a fitness center. Group exercise is better for your business, expanding your center of influence, and it can be an amazing source of business unless you're a secret agent and you just walk into the gym with your headset on. Don't do that. Actually talk about real estate.
This is perhaps one of the best times, I know this will surprise all of you, to be in the real estate industry that we've seen in our careers because there's so much uncertainty. Well, there's that. Because there's so many agents out there that are ill prepared. They don't know what they don't know. You're listening to our podcast because you're learning what you don't know and you're taking action on and improving. That creates opportunity because you're going to have a skill set that other people don't have. You're going to have a mindset that other people don't have. And over time, you're going to create a business and frankly, wealth that other people never will have. So please do keep this in mind, but nothing is going to come to you. You need to make it all, you need to chase all of it.
If it's meant to be, it's up to me. That's what you say when you wake up and when you go to bed.
Yep. And look, guys, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. But also, if you want ever increasing levels of success in your business and your personal life, you don't have to have ups and downs, guys. You can have ever increasing levels of success in your business and your personal life. You've got to master the art and science of doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. Do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. There are so many things in a normal person's life that really are rather egregious, but you still got to do it. You just do. You got to take your kid, Julie leaves to take Zoe to school at 6:30 a.m. She doesn't want to do it. No. We go to the gym every day.
Well, I do want to do it, but not at 6:30 a.m.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We go to the gym every day. We don't want to do it.
Ever.
There's so many things, but you have to do it because the long-term benefit is extraordinary. Now, long-term is not next month. Long-term, could be 20 years from now. Well, I don't know who said this, but it's true. People overestimate what they can do in 12 months. They underestimate what they can do in 20 years.
Well put.
And, Julie and I are living, breathing examples of it. This year, we'll be married 32 years. And I can promise you, virtually all of our most meaningful success came in the last 20 years. And there were plenty of opportunities for us to get derailed, go off course, change our minds, change direction. And maybe occasionally you did ever so slightly, but for the most part, we always stayed on mission. And we're now seeing it. So if you'd asked us 20 years ago and I'd said, well, people overestimate what they could do in a year and underestimate what they could do in 20 years, I just would have been saying the words, not ever having experienced it. Right. But now I've experienced it and I know it's true. So please use, and people that are our age or older, you know what I'm saying is true. And you do still have time to make a miraculous, amazing life for yourself. Never give up as long as you're breathing. Like when people ask me, how are you, Tim? Or, those types of nice, polite types of things people ask. I say, well, anytime you wake up and you're looking at the green side of the grass, it's a great day. But shouldn't that be the standard? I mean,
One would think.
Shouldn't that be it? Does it have to be a bunch of other things? No, you're alive.
Less things, not more things.
Exactly. So hopefully you guys benefit from all this. Thank you for keeping this number one listened to daily podcast for real estate professionals in at least the United States. It's always our pleasure and our truest honor to have you as part of our lives and allowing us to be part of yours. Have a fantastic day. We'll talk with you on the show tomorrow.
Hello, thank you for having watched this video. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right, and don't forget to hit that like button, leave your comments and questions below, and we will get right back with you.
Thank you for watching this video, and remember to watch the next one. You're gonna love that one.